Hello and welcome to Duncan Toplis On Air podcast. I'm Caroline Cleary. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Duncan Toplis, and I'm joined today by two colleagues and directors, Damon Tunnicliffe and Alistair Main, who are our Head of Payroll and Head of Assurance, respectively. Welcome both.
Hello. Hi, Caroline.
So we asked you in today so that we could talk about a couple of things. Firstly, the recent national nominations for your Progressive Payroll and Audit Team of the Year awards, and also really to reflect on your journeys as head of those key service lines for us, as well as your own journeys into being a head of and what that means for you. So maybe we'll start with the easy questions, which are, who are you and where did you come from? We'll start with Damon. If you could take us on your journey to becoming Head of Payroll at Duncan Toplis.
Yeah, hi Caroline. So I started with Duncan Toplis in 2008 as an accounts trainee. Wasn't really particularly for me. I did my AAT, but I knew really that wasn't the future for me. I think back then it was you got a lot of variety of what you wanted to do, so a bit of VAT bookkeeping, but one thing that really interested me was payroll. When RTI came out in 2012, manager at the time needed a little bit more help, so I stepped into payroll, and it was absolutely what I loved doing, and I've grown from there. So I've sat in every single seat from a trainee to head of service on my journey there.
And so that's a role that you've taken up in the last 12 months as head of payroll. And now on the back of that, the payroll team being nominated for the national award for being a progressive payroll team. How have you helped to build that team, and what for you has really helped that service line go from, as you've described, something that was quite new and needed a level of expertise to really one of our highest performing teams?
So we started in 2016-17 on this journey where we are now. So it's been 8 years to get to where we want to be. Furlough in there as well as delayed probably a little bit where we wanted to be. But changing the culture, a trust organisation, you need the trust of your team to be able to deliver the payrolls. And we've built that up, and the team have done fantastically.
And Duncan Toplis is a team. It's a team you've been part of for a significant amount of time, Alistair. Would you mind sharing with us today how did you come into this business, and how did that take you on your pathway to being head of assurance?
Yeah, thank you, Caroline. You put that very politely. I was trying to work out, I think it's 20 years I have been part of the Duncan Toplis team. And that's probably a little bit similar to Damon, really. I joined as a graduate trainee in our Boston office 20 years ago, and I suppose very quickly started enjoying working with some of all the officers at the time, largest clients in the audit field. And there's always been something else to step into, something else to get involved in. We saw me moving officers, also sort of audit managed for a few different officers around the group, and eventually became a director and the head of the assurance services. I think it was about 5 years ago now.
Yeah, and I suppose touching on, we talked about the payroll team and their award nominations and how well that team have done and how they've grown. You've recently had that nomination for payroll audit team of the year, apologies. And it's not your first time being nominated nationally for the audit team. And I think one of the first times that you and I met was when we were nominated for the work that you and your team had done as well with the International Bomber Command Centre. We've been to the awards there, which we were very successful in, and we're delighted to bring home the trophy. But with your audit team specifically, what is it that makes the difference between a team that you may find anywhere and the team you have built at Duncan Toplis?
Yeah, I mean, when I started, I think a lot of people had a very mixed role. So they did a little bit of audit, a little bit of business services work. Damon even did some audit when he first started. I do remember him coming out on an audit. But over that time, we've really moved that to be more of a specialism. And it is now, it's the major part of pretty much all of our team's job. And then we've been pushed forwards with trying to make that a career of choice. I think in the industry, you only really hear about auditors in the press when something goes really wrong on a sort of national level. And so it had been a bit of a maligned industry and job in reality. But I think we've worked really hard over the past probably 6-7 years to actually make that a career of choice. And start bringing in new technology, start bringing in things that people really want to be involved in, and give us a way to really kind of get under the skin of our clients and provide an excellent service to them.
Yeah, that's really excellent. And I suppose talking about your career journeys, it's something we're really proud of here at Duncan Toplis, to have that diversity of career pathway. If I start with you, Damon, is if there was somebody leaving school or soon to graduate, what would your message to them be if they're considering a career in financial services, professional services, and why do you think payroll's a great choice?
Yes, I think that the financial services, there's a career, there's progression. I think just look at myself and Alison, there's plenty more people around the business that have come in straight from school, getting sent to, being supported to go to college, and actually getting paid while you learn as well is a real big benefit. And actually, you can get a real head start with 3-4 years on then potentially certain people that then come in from university that you've already got that good ground in. It's not just all about the textbooks for me. It's actually getting the work experience, getting to know the clients, delivering the client service. That is probably one of the most important thing to be able to move forward in the role.
And I suppose just to touch on for yourself, because you seem to be an awards theme to the podcast, but you were recently nominated top 35 under 35. How did it feel when you heard you'd been nominated for that award?
I was massively proud. For someone who just thinks they're like a normal guy from Sleaford, to come in as an accounts trainee, and to work my way up now to be a director, head of payroll. I'd never have thought that when I first started at Duncan Toplis. So hard work and taking opportunities and building the team, and I couldn't get anywhere where I am today without the team that I work with very closely, and especially the payroll team. They work so hard and have got to where we are today as a department, so I can't thank them enough.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And also congratulations again for
Thank
that
you.
real accolade to, like you said, hard work and teamwork as well. And I suppose passing that over to you, Alistair, in terms of career pathways, if there's someone thinking maybe accountancy might be a pathway, or maybe they don't actually know what they're looking for in a career, what would you be saying to them in terms of considering not necessarily a similar pathway, but a Duncan Toplis pathway to yours?
Well, yeah, I think any of the jobs we offer in the business gives you this absolutely brilliant chance to get a really good insight into just business generally. It's not just about the accounts. A large part of our job is people related. It's either the teams here, as Damon sort of mentioned, but it's getting to know our clients and kind of what makes them kind of tick and helping them along their journey in their own businesses. So it gives you this fantastic insight. And even if you don't see it as potentially your long-term career aspiration to become a director of an accountancy business, that exposure to the business community can just open so many doors for you in a future career.
And what sort of difference do you think it makes? So our business is on on quite a significant growth pathway now. We're looking to take that Duncan and Toplis message to many more clients and offer many more career opportunities to people. What sort of advantage does that give people considering a career with us now that we're looking to be part of something bigger?
I think the variety of what we can offer, in the 20 years I've been here, the variety of what we offer on both the clients and locations we serve has changed massively. So our audit teams get the chance to travel pretty much around the UK. It's not just the East Midlands, we have clients all over now. But also it's completely different industries to what we're used to. So we still have the traditional industries that we've always looked after, but we're looking after much larger businesses in the audit team now, and that just opens new doors. It's something new and different to look at, different systems, different way of working, and I think that's only going to continue, and it's really exciting for our team to get those opportunities.
And then I suppose for you, Damon, is in particularly with payroll, that diversity of clients gives lots of different challenges for your team. One of the things that we talk a lot about our people is how do we support them in upskilling and making sure that we have the right expertise for that. Do you see that sort of diversity in the people who are inquiring to you now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think traditionally you used to kind of fall into payroll. You probably had a role at an organisation, and then payroll was always tagged onto that role. It is now a career path in its entirety. The service line is going from strength to strength, and over the last 2-3 years, we've taken on 5 trainees that are really starting to flourish. And that's a real testament that actually now people are wanting to come into payroll, learn different areas of payroll. There's a big variety of different sectors that we service. So having certain niches in there as well definitely helps us to grow.
And I think we've talked about sort of a 15 to 20 career pathway for both of you. But Duncan Toplis is 100 years old next year. We started with a single location in Nottingham, next door to the local National Farmers Union office. We then very quickly moved into Grantham, and the business as a whole has seen a huge amount of change over that time. I'm interested in what you think, Damon. What are the key changes that you're seeing in businesses now, and what do you think are the main things for people to look out for, whether that's within the payroll or in the scope of business as a whole?
I think the biggest thing at the moment is technology. You've got to keep up with the latest technology, or unfortunately, I believe you get left behind. So that is part of our role to ensure that, not just for ourselves, but for our clients, we're being as efficient as we can on both parts, because we want to be delivering the best service that we can be. So definitely technology for me.
Yeah, and I'll pass that over to you, Alistair, as well, because there's lots spoken about in terms of AI and what that's going to mean, not just for the accountancy profession, but for business and the world in general. What are you seeing in your space?
Yeah, we're no different to probably a lot of our clients and a lot of business generally, in that I suppose we're being expected to do a lot more, but not necessarily being able to raise fees. Our clients aren't able to raise their prices as much as they'd want to, yet their costs are going up. So we're having to be more efficient. Our clients having to be more efficient in what they do. I suppose that's where things like AI and technology can come in. I think there's been a lot of hype about where AI may be leading us, and I think there's been a lot of worry about is that going to replace people's jobs? And in reality, I don't think it will. It probably opens up more exciting jobs, more exciting roles, while using AI to supplement kind of what we do. And we're certainly using that in a lot of the technology we're introducing into the audit world. We're using AI to assist our audit teams, but we're not replacing their sort of decision making and their knowledge. It's just there to help them be able to utilise what they already know.
And I think that's been a change in space, hasn't it, in the world generally? We had the pandemic where we all got used to not seeing each other. And then we've come back into a world that is more greatly digitised, and AI being part of that. But I suppose my thought is always that people love working with people. There's still that connection that people have with individuals, which doesn't seem to be changing. And you touched earlier, Damon, if we dig into that a little bit, about how much you enjoy working with people, and not everyone has that in their skill set, but I think it's something that you do really well. So is it worth exploring a little bit about how that enjoyment of people can actually help build those teams?
Yeah, I think being from quite a sociable guy, just wanting to be involved in the team, wanting to develop them to the best of their ability. I think I've probably been very well supported over my career and helped to get to where I am. So trying to pass that back to people or to the team is very important. I'm very, very driven for client service. You look after your clients, they'll look after you and continue to look after you. So when we talked about technology, looking at efficiencies and stuff, it's making sure that we can focus on them more and actually just keep improving the service to enhance their experience here at Duncan Toplis.
I think that's a really good point to raise. If I'd sort of pass that over to you, Alistair, as your team, as you said, covers the whole of the UK and you do international work as well. How are you able to manage that people piece, given naturally people are no longer within easy driving distance of each other?
Yeah, and I think audit always has been teamwork. It's very rare you're working alone on audit work, and I think the teams found the whole pandemic quite challenging because we were suddenly thrown apart and having to work on screens in different locations. We managed that really well with the sort of technology and stuff we used at the time, But I think a lot of them couldn't wait to get back into sort of working as a team in the same room together. But the things that we use, take our inflow software, does enable us to work remotely. It does enable us to work away from each other if we need to, and it enables us to do these jobs without necessarily having to spend weeks and weeks on site like we would have used to have done. We can now really focus our time when we go down to clients to be maybe 2 or 3 days in the week, but it's really focused on what we need to do and really utilising their office, their team as we need to, and then we can do a lot of the work ourselves back at our offices or back in our homes if that's where people are working.
And I think that's really part of the future, isn't it? And I guess that's going to be my closing question to you. We talk a lot around what does the future have in store, and I suppose what's the next thing for you, Damon, and then we'll pass it over to Alistair too. What's the next thing for you in the future?
The next thing for me in the future is ensuring our growth strategy is implemented. It's a very exciting time here at Duncan Toplis with the mergers and acquisitions that are happening. It's going to be, next year is going to look completely different to what it has, this year or the previous year. So it's exciting. It's meeting new team members, new clients, but ensuring that client service and delivery is there as what it always has been.
That's brilliant, Alistair.
Well, we're actually right in the middle of, I suppose, changing our major piece of software that we use in the business, and that's going to get us ready for both to better serve the clients we've got now, but get us ready for, as Damon said, that growth that we're about to kind of go on and getting new people into the business. And that's going to much improve the sort of service we can offer to our clients and improve our efficiency as well. So it's really an exciting couple of years coming up for our audit teams. And
I think what comes out of both of you in this short conversation we've had is how much you love what you do and love that positive impact, and many more nominations hopefully coming your way for really bringing that to Duncan and Toplis and your clients and as you say, importantly, the team as well. It's been brilliant speaking to you. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.